Omari Hutchinson is a red. Welcome to your transfer news. Morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to your Forest transfer news. As Omari Hutchinson is there. Here we go. How you guys doing? This is starting to feel like the promotion season. Here we goes after here we goes after here we goes. Oh my god, and I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the price. We're gonna talk about everything. But before we get talking, first thing you guys need to do is hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new. Okay, so it's breaking. I've got more breaking news for you. Callum Ndoye is a here we go as well. That's the breaking news right there for you. So double down. We'll separate that one up. Just give me 1 second. Let's tell everyone in Discord we are live. All right, make sure you're in the Discord as well. The link's in there. I'm just dropping these little bumpers and little bumpers. Little bumpers are in. Anyway, let's start. Let's start with what's his face? Oh yeah, you're right, Martin. Sorry. Right, let me. I just slipped that one in. Let me unslip it, right, and reslip it. Pause. Callum Ndoye is here we go as well. Breaking news. I'll come back to that one. Callie is in the Sambulonga. He's not. It's like Ian Wright, Defoe style, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. Anyway, let's get into the Omari Hutchinson. And let's get started. So this is the world of block. Oh, and by the way, I gotta talk you through Nuno because Nuno was going crazy yesterday, and I think rightly so. Anyway, let's start with Omari Hutchinson. What have I pressed here now, man? What have I pressed here now? Oh god, she's here. Jessica Chris Wood, #1 fan with the £2 says, here we effing go. I don't know how you've pulled this one off, Jess. I really don't, but well played to you. Shout out to you, Jess. So Romano broke this about 15-20 minutes ago, I think it was. It is a Nottingham Forest agreed deal to sign Omari Hutchinson from Ipswich for a £37 million fee. Here we go. Omari on his way to the medical right now, as personal terms are also agreed for Forest signing. This follows on from James McAtee, and Callum Ndoye is very, very close. As I said, that is now a here we go from what I've just been hearing. So, look, we got to talk about the fee to start with before we talk about the player. The fee is really, really high, okay? Now, part of the reason this fee is going to be so high is Chelsea have a sell-on clause to it. So Ipswich are protecting it on that front. The Chelsea will get a cut of this. On top of that, Ipswich were under no financial pressure to sell. And yeah, Brucey, you're right. We've just literally paid Ipswich another season that they can stay in the Championship. Here we go is better than close. But is it as good as closer than close can be? Love the shirt. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyway, so that's one reason. The second reason is Ipswich went under financial pressure to sell. Therefore, Forest had to go in high to get the guy they wanted. And thirdly, Hutchinson himself was not pushing for the deal. He was obviously more than happy to join Forest, but he wasn't doing an Isak and throwing his toys out the pram and everything like that. That's a close second, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. So that's part of the formula of why this price was so high. Also, there's going to be the English tax and Prem Proven tax, even though I'm not that convinced on Prem Proven. Now, if we look at his, oh my god, there's so many messages right now. Now, if we look at what he's done in the Premier League last season, like overall, he's played for Ipswich 82 games, 14 goals and 8 assists. But if you break that down into the Premier League, he's played 31 games, 3 goals, 2 assists as well. I don't think his stats are amazing, but at the same time, you got to say he was in a relegation team in Ipswich. And therefore, you got to give some rope on that. I'm not against this transfer, by the way. My only question mark, and I know it's hypocritical because I always say it's not my money, I don't care, okay, is the price. That's all. Now, is that price fully 37? What I'm expecting will come out in the next few days is that it's like 20 to 25 million with a fat crap load of add-ons. Okay, that's what I think is going to come out. If it's in and around this 25 million mark, then I think that's fine. That's probably, if not bang on the going rate. And all these add-ons, again, like I said yesterday about McAtee, these add-ons are all potentially positive add-ons. If Hutchinson scores 10 goals, then Ipswich get another 5 million. If Hutchinson gets Forest into Europe, it could be another 5 million. I have seen the interview. We'll go through it in just a second, right? So that I'm hoping that's the case. If this is a straight up 37, which I'd be very, very surprised about, then I think Ipswich have found themselves a very, very good deal. On top of that as well, you've got to take into account the time of the window we are now in. Okay, time of the window we're now in. Forest are almost treating yesterday like it was a deadline day. It felt like that on the stream. So for Forest to get things over the line, because they're trying desperately to get everyone registered in time for the game on Sunday, I still don't fully understand excuse me, the logic behind that, because these guys are coming straight off the bus, straight into the pitch, and they won't be adverse to, the tactics and everything else. So I get it. Footballers are footballers. You can just, put the jumpers down for goalposts and get playing. I get that. But my God, it's getting tight. It really is. Yeah, and the cutoff for registration is in 40 minutes. In 40 minutes, as Lee's saying there. We're definitely not Daniel Levy. That's facts. Tight ass, aka. I agree with you. So listen, that's the what's his face? What's he called again? I'm so tired. Omari Hutchinson. Keep wanting to call him Omari Gray, but that is done. It is dusted. Now, I think this was going through late last night. They've shipped him probably to Nottingham first thing this morning. A medical can take a couple of hours. It just depends, really. Like, these things get rushed as well on the final day of the season. So Forest will be very good at getting medicals and registrations done, dusted, and turned around very, very quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get the registration in. So let's see how that one pans out. We have 100 million spending allowance before we even start a player. Exactly that. Look, this should be coming as no surprise to anyone. When we interviewed Kieran Maguire, I asked him how bad or how good is the Forest situation. Yo, Mark, I've got it nailed down now. Callum or Callum Mwandu. How about that, Mark? What are you saying to that, Mark? Nailed. I stayed up all night staring in the mirror. Callum Mwandu. So hold that, Mark. Hold that. You're not going to confuse me anymore. Can we sign them subject to a medical to meet the deadline date? No. If you've signed them, they're registered. You get what I'm saying? They have to be. If you've registered them as a player to be able to play, they're on your books. That's the thing. Josh, that was not rubbish. That was absolutely spot on. Yeah, I'm not messing around, man. I'm not letting you freaking brainwash me anymore. Okay, so what about Bakwa? This is my disappointment. There is talks that Forest will still go in for Bakwa in spite of getting Hutchinson. Now, if Forest do that, I think that's fantastic. I think that is showing me the mentality of the club this season. Don't worry, bro. I'll talk you through the Nuno stuff in just a second. So, as it stands, yesterday McAtee done. Here we go. McAtee should be registered in time. All right, the medical should have been very early this morning. Registration should be done before 12 o'clock today. Hutchinson, this is going to be touch and go, but I think Forest will get it done. Kulamandu, that won't be done in time. That's just gone. Here we go. Okay. And then Backwork could be next. Douglas Luiz, by the way, is getting extremely close. I've even seen reports now to say that Douglas Luiz, they're talking about just a permanent transfer. Okay. So the latest on Douglas Luiz is Forest and Juventus are still in constant contact regarding Douglas Luiz. The English club is open to a permanent transfer, the formula requested by Juventus. The parties are working to find a meeting point on the final figure of the deal. However, Everton and West Ham are still interested in the Brazilian, but Forest are currently in the lead. So that to me says Douglas Luiz wants Forest. He doesn't want Everton and West Ham. And why would Everton? I can understand. West Ham, you want Lawless cheering for you from the stands? Actually, Lawless ripped up his season ticket, didn't he? So that one's getting very close. Now, what I want to talk about is Nuno, because Nuno went cray-cray on Sky today. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he literally said, we're not ready. The plan wasn't executed. We're not in a position we need to be, so on and so forth, right? I'll read you the quotes out here. Let me share it with you. Let's just get into this screen here. The Nuno Espirito Santo makes a shocking claim about Forest days before the Premier League opener. The Forest manager is not happy ahead of the Premier League opener against Brentford. Forest manager Nuno has made some damning admissions about the club ahead of the Premier League starting this weekend. In just hours, blah blah blah. With the weekend marking, so I just want to get to the quotes. The father, son, Ndoye. Okay, here it is. He said, but Nuno, this is the bit just before it. But for Nuno, this isn't enough. He called out the club for their lack of preparation heading into what he expects to be a particular demanding season. That is possibly most damn. It has to be a smokescreen. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll talk about it in a second. He says, we are very, very far from where we should be. Very far, Nuno said to Sky Sports in an interview. In terms of preparation, planning, squad, we are all very worried that we are playing in the most demanding league in the world and we are very far away. The plans that we had did not come through. The preparation in terms of the squad was not ideal. We did not have the chance to create the bonds because we did not know what squad we would have. We have players here that know they will leave on loan. We have a major problem. Like, wow is all I've got to say to that. And I've got a few wows to say to you guys as well, because there's 600 of you in here and only 144 likes. To get those likes up. So look, it was a short, sharp video that Sky released, right? It was like 2 minutes long. He sounded vexed. And I actually understand his anger because everything he said in that interview is what I was been saying for the last 2 months, right? I've had people messaging me saying, are you still annoyed about the transfer window now that we're getting all these players through? Big up to Graham for subscribing. The answer is yes. When was the video done? It was done at the media filming. So it was only done yesterday or the day before at the earliest, right? So it's been 2 days. It was not, man. It was not. It was the media thing, surely. It was the media thing, Mark. I'm pretty sure it was the media thing. Now, what I'll say about it is I actually fully agree with what he said, but I don't agree that he said it. Okay? I'll tell you why. The only other manager I've seen do this was Erik ten Hag about 2 years last year at Man United before their opening game fixture against whoever it was, where he said, we're not ready. The squad isn't quite there. It wasn't as damning and aggressive. It's a week old, is it? So why would they? Are you guys sure? The settings to me look like the same settings from the media day. But if you guys say it, you guys say it. I'll believe you. I'll believe you. He still has last season Soon. Oh, a sponsor on his shirt. Okay, but last week. No. Hold on. What sponsor did he have? What sponsor did he have? What sponsor did he have on it? Was it the Eon? 600 Wolfie and all the signings great, but Wolfie can at least get a goal for God's sake. We need a goal. Watch the video again. Why? You trying to say I was half awake when I watched it, Mark? Is that what you're trying to say? It can't be last season's sponsors on the new training. Wait. All right, hold on. Let me look. Hold on. That's not last. The training sponsor is different from the match sponsor. He's got Eon Next on it. Anyway, what does it matter when he said it? Hey, shut up, Brucey. What does it matter when he said it? The fact is, he said it. Okay? That's the problem. Because clearly he was saying the opening game of the season is a couple of weeks away. Okay, so what? It still doesn't matter. It's got the bats on his shirt. The point is he's saying it, and he's right to say it because you guys are still missing the point. What is he talking about? He's talking about the training camp in Portugal when he's talking about the bonds happening and everything else like that. If the players aren't there to create those bonds, then for him it's too late. He's saying he wants the business done fast. If you guys want to say a week ago, fine. But it doesn't matter. It's not 2 weeks ago, man. Why would they sit on an interview for 2 weeks? It matters because things changed. 2 weeks ago, you thought we were in trouble, Wolfie. Now things are different. Things haven't changed for Brentford. I hear what you're saying, bro, but things have not changed for Brentford. If you're bringing in McAtee and you're bringing in Hutchinson, you're still not ready because they haven't trained. They haven't been integrated with the squad. Look, you could potentially throw one of them on and they score a 30-yard worldie and win the match. Hell yeah, let's hope that happens. But you guys are still missing the point. The point is, this hasn't gone down to what he wants. The point is, targets that he wanted off the shopping list from page 1 are ones that he hasn't had come through the door. Now, this is where I disagree with what he said, is that by saying, the transfer plan or whatever he said hasn't come through, that's saying to whoever comes in next, by the way, you weren't my first choice, but thanks for coming. That's the thing. Jamal Mubarak to you as well, Hussein. Stain, sorry. That's the point, right? I agree with every word he has said, but my point is he didn't need to say it. Now, is he saying that to then get a reaction out of Marinakis, to get the stuff coming through, to get players coming through, etc.? Maybe. Irrespective if it was done last week, 2 weeks ago, a year ago, that's not the point. It's about what he's saying. Where has he said this? He said it on Sky Sports. Big up to my guy, Richard. Richard, why do you always ask me this question, bro? Appreciate the £5. Wolfie, are you reading my messages? Yes, I'm reading your messages. What are you saying, bro? I don't know. Do you want me to jump up every time I read one of your messages in the chat, bro? Shout out to you, Richard. He's never gonna say we're ready. No manager would. Yes, they would, bro. Okay, all right. If they wouldn't, then don't say anything. Is my point. You get me? I know what you're saying. None of the new signings know each other, and it's best that they get as much time together and gel and bond. Exactly my point. Why does he take them away to that Portugal camp? It's not about training or getting tactics on the pitch. Well, that comes into it. The point is in the off hours, the hours where they're having dinner, the hours where maybe they go into town for a meal or whatever, right? Those are the times you get to know people, you have bonds and stuff. We do it at work. We used to do it all the time pre-COVID. You would if a new team got together, you would go and meet, say, in London for a meeting. but then you would make it a 2-day meeting, so that evening you go out and have a meal, and you're not in work mode, and you get to know each other as people, because you will react better and play better and connect better with the people you know. That's the point he's making here. Okay, that's the point he's making. So I'm saying I agree with everything he said. I just don't agree that it needed to be aired out. Now, if you guys are right and it was 2 weeks ago or a week ago and he's in full frustration mode, okay, fine, I get it. Then this is nasty by Sky to then drop it on the day where Forest deciding left, right, and centre. So I hear that from you guys, and I agree with you guys on that. But he's still right in what he's saying. Mubarak to you as well, bro. So look, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Hold on. We got. Am I getting here? Any breaking news? Okay, so further update from Romano after McAtee and Hutchinson with Calimuendo on his way. Forest are planning more signings. Talks continue for Douglas Luiz. Forest also remain in contact with Yunus Musa's camp this week. I forgot about Musa completely, man. I completely forgot about him. Big up, my boy Chucker. He goes, love your work. Forest will be good this season. I hope you're right, man. Appreciate the $3, Chucker. What time is it for you? Wait, is it late now for you or early? It must be late. It must be late. Yes, Curtis, we are live in the house. How you doing, bro? He was responsible for the timing of the release of the interview. I get it, but he still said it, didn't he? He still said, I agree. Sky obviously got their agenda against Forest. Sky of biased bastards towards us, Forest. They're completely against us there. 8:37. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Jeff, don't do this to me, man. Don't. Marinakis, Greek father. If you're watching, by some miracle. By some miracle, please sit in a room with Eddie and just put this name on the. Just put it on the table. I know you've looked at him 6-7 weeks ago and what have you, right? Name on the table. For me, Marinakis. For me. Sad you can't chat on Discord anymore. Yeah, I need to catch up with what happened last night. I actually fell asleep quite early. Make sure you're joining the Discord. There's like over 600, 650 in there. It's crazy in that Discord, man. It's absolutely crazy right now in the Discord. My guy Sam with the coffee. Shout out to you, Sam. You absolute legend. He says, always great content, Wolfie. Thanks for everything you do. Any word on the third kits? I have no intel at all on the kits this season, bro. I haven't been able to see them. Massive shout out to you for the coffee. Appreciate your support. Also, I needed to big up Stamps as well, who said cheers for the Forest entertainment. He dropped a coffee in just after we went off air yesterday. And a big up to MK. What are you saying, MK? Will Juventus still want Sangare or another player if in return for Luis? There is reports of it, but that's not part of the negotiation between the two clubs. So if that were to happen, which I would like to think it will not happen, otherwise I will become very angry. But if that were to happen, then it would be outside of those negotiations, if that makes sense. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for the $4.99. What's happening with Bakwa? Apparently, it's still on. In spite of Hutchinson coming, they still want to strengthen further. We will see how it goes. Wolfie, is Luis happening now? Yes, Luis is definitely still on the cards. They've just got to come to the agreement. It's exactly what I've been telling you guys. The two sticking points, 33 versus 40, and Forest won based on Europe for the obligation, and Juventus won it based on appearance. My pleasure, bro. My pleasure. Loving the momentum in our transfer window. You know what, Miski? That's a very, very good word to use. Momentum. Because we've had no momentum so far with what we've seen on the pitch. And now the momentum is fully flying right now. And it's giving me a bit of a smile on my face. Catfish with the coffee, aka Mark. He goes, "Here you go, you plum. I'm surprised you didn't put Calimuendo in there to make me say it." And there you go. I said it. Shout out to you, Mark. Much love, bro. Much love. I'm now looking at this season as Declan is here, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm liking it. I'm liking what we're doing with this team. I'm liking what we're doing this team. I wish it was done 2 weeks ago. I blamed, you know what, guys? Let's do a Crystal Palace here, right? I blame Steve Parish for our transfer window. How about that, D? What are you saying to that? Because if Crystal Palace hadn't done all their appeals and snitched on Forest, then we would have got all these transfers sorted out 2 weeks ago. So this is Crystal Palace's fault. Just saying. Okay, right. So that's the breaking news for you guys. Nuno kicking off, and of course Hutchinson, here we go, and Calimuendo, that's done as well. I'm gonna go grab the details on all the Calimuendo stuff, and then we will either do another live or I'll chuck another video out in a couple of hours. But let me know how you're feeling about this transfer window. Like, are you getting excited or not? Let me know. I think who's live? The Talking Reds live? No, they were live. Bloody hell, they were live 3 hours ago. And Richard was on there. My God, Richard, what time do you get up? Seriously. All right. I will see you guys in a couple of hours. You hate D so much. I hate Love D. All right, I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. There's going to be more breaking news. Expect the next one to be Calimuendo. Hopefully Douglas Luiz. This is Forest. It's going to be busy. So have your notifications on. Jump in the Discord. We'll talk in the Discord, right? !Discord in the chat. Get your ass in there. We'll get talking. Come on, you Reds.